Hello and welcome to Noobs in Progress. My name is Nathan, and here with me I have
Ethan Murphy, Nathan Beatty's friend.
Hello, Ethan. How are you doing today?
I'm good.
I like how we say it. We act like we haven't just done this an hour and a half ago.
Well, to shatter the illusion, this is meant to be our. This is meant to be our Halloween special. This is episode 4 our Halloween special. So that was meant to be my creepy Halloween laugh, which Nate will undoubtedly add all kinds of amazing special effects in afterwards and in post.
Like that?
Done. And knock that one off the list. Perfect.
I think my favorite. Well, it's hard to beat. The favorite laugh is from Thriller. But I love how it ends with the. I can't even do it. He does like this, like throat, like. Oh God, I'd have to do the laugh. Oh shit, I can't do it. Fuck it. But he does like this, like little throat thing at the very end that like it ends it, and it's like this, like it's almost like a throat sound, not an actual like it's so good. God, Vincent Price.
No, it's
I miss him.
I know, but it's fantastic. It's fantastic, and that was funny that I watched. So they had I was rewatching Stranger Things. I always watch Stranger Things for Halloween, and I watched the trailer for season 2 of Stranger Things, and there was a trailer that had it was themed after Thriller. They had the same Thriller music and everything put in it, and that trailer for Stranger Things also ends with the Vincent Price laugh. And I was like, so you have the Vincent Price laugh over the Stranger Things music with the Stranger Things logo popping up. It's like that is just too much orgasms at once. My brain is going to explode.
Oh God, I'm getting aroused. You just explaining it. It's just like, oh God. That's kind of I love well my family loves to tell the story that when I was a kid department stores, there was a department store locally that we had called Hills, and they would have in the front they would have TVs playing music videos, whatever, MTV, whatnot. Well, one year it was around Halloween. We went in and they were playing the Thriller video, the full Thriller video, that whole 20-minute thing on loop. Yeah. They just had it on loop. This was also and this was also back in the time where, like, you know, they would, like, my parents would just be like, they would walk into the store and they'd be like, okay, meet up back here. And I was like 8, and they'd be like, meet up here in 20 minutes. And they just left me there, and I just sat there. I think it was like 7 or 8, and I just sat there and watched it for however long they shopped, like over and over. Yeah. And my parents, like my dad was like, that's going to scare the shit out of him. And my mom was like, hey, he doesn't care.
but your dad was right. I mean, I guess not you. But so I did watch the Thriller video when it came out, and it did scare me. Not nightmares, but it was a little scary because it deals with him actually, like, the music in and of itself is really cool, really easy to dance to, what have you, but it's also kind of creepy. And then also the idea is you know, MJ, say what you want about him now, but he was turning into like a werewolf kind of creature thing too. And it's like so we're seeing monsters dance. So it's like, oh, that's kind of odd, but it's still somehow it's one of those things where, you know, Don Bluth, our buddy Don Bluth, who did like Fievel, An American Tale, and Land Before Time, and All Dogs Go to Heaven. The animator, Don Bluth, his credo was, you can pretty much show a kid anything as long as it has a happy ending. So basically, I was able to get over it because it didn't end with everyone getting torn to shreds, and because it had Vincent Price's laugh. It's like, okay, it can't be too bad if Vincent Price laughs.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Don Bluth, responsible for so many billions of dollars worth of psychiatric bills. But that man, oh God, like I can kind of get on board with that, but just because, like, it's funny you mention it because, you know, earlier today I was watching a video with my son, and it was about dinosaurs, and it was so bizarre because it was like this happy, upbeat, like, what happened to the dinosaurs? And it had, like, you know, it talks about the meteor hitting and dust going up in the sky. There's all these dancing dinosaurs, and they were like, and then it blocked out the sun, and then there was no food. And then you see the dinosaurs just start dying. And then it goes back to, what happened to the dinosaurs? And I'm like,
what?
This is like cognitive dissonance, like unbelievable.
You can't do that. You can't walk that back with melody and
exactly. And the funny thing is they were fucking smiling all the way. They were like, we're starving. You know?
Oh my God, that is even more unsettling. Well, thanks a lot, John Bluth, you crazy psycho.
Exactly. It was like this is what you have wrought. Anyway.
I don't know how we got on that tangent. And we apologize for nothing. Absolutely nothing. Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween. Yes. Yeah. Thriller didn't really scare me all that much. Actually, I don't think it did much, and I think it was because I was from a very young age Michael Jackson fan.
Sure.
That has become problematic. But
which also, even the fact that you phrased it from a very young age, I was a Michael Jackson fan. That's even scarier. Yeah.
But yeah, so I think it was the music, just for some reason, the music just, like washed it out of my head. And since I knew it was Michael Jackson, it didn't get to me. But yeah, I really like those videos. But one bit say this is going to be a shit segue, so I'm just going to acknowledge that it's a shit segue and then segue it. Something else that I didn't really scare me, the little bits that I've seen, is the movie that we're going to watch this week. That was shit. Ethan, would you like to tell them and get me out of this?
How can I follow that up, my friend? How could I possibly follow that up?
Yeah. Please try.
Yes, this. It's like you said. All right, here we go with the plane. I'm going to crash into the mountain, and as the plane, the nose of the plane is hitting the mountain, you say, "All right, co-pilot, you take over from here." It's like, what do I do? What? All right. So as I scrape the black box off my face, the movie we are doing this week for Halloween, our Halloween special, is in fact Tim Curry's Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yes.
Nate and I neither of us have actually seen this movie, really seen it. I saw very small pieces when I was too young to really understand what I was seeing, basically.
Yeah.
And Nate, I don't believe you've seen any of it, right?
I've seen bits. I guess very similar in the fact, like I did see it as I think I saw like a couple of scenes when I was at college. Like I think I was like at a party and it was playing in the background, and like I went and sat and watched a couple of minutes, and then and then I realized like, oh, booze and girls are in the other room. I'm gonna go over there now, and I never looked back until now. But I'm very interested to see it because I love Tim Curry. I think Tim Curry's fantastic. Yes. And to see him in lingerie just excites me. But and I'm very interested to see, because I know a little bit about it, and I know the whole thing about like them having movie theaters and there's callbacks and people dress up and play in the actually pretend to be the roles. Like I know all about that. In fact, I was friends with a guy who like did that every Friday night for like 4 years. He played the Meatloaf character. Yeah. So like I know bits and pieces, but I couldn't tell you the plot. I couldn't tell you, like.
And from what I understand, I don't even know if there is a plot. It's almost not even. It's almost. I know obviously Time Warp Dance. I've heard that song. I'm sure you've heard that too.
Oh yes.
The Time Warp Dance. Even just hearing the lyrics in that makes like they're almost saying this doesn't make sense. How dare you try to make sense of this? So it's almost like we're trying. It's the whole point is to just have nonsensical fun. And when another thing I know too is that there's always those memes online as far as like which Tim Curry role do you most identify with, or do you see as your favorite? And it's always like either the Rocky Horror Tim Curry or the butler from Clue Tim Curry. And I've always been Clue Tim Curry because I've seen that. I haven't seen the Rocky Horror Picture Show. I know he's also the darkness in Legend, but that's usually third. So so I'm curious. I definitely want to be able to have that conversation as which actual portrayal that Tim Curry portrays is the better one.
Yeah, I'm going to be interested to see. I'm really going to be interested to see this movie because I haven't seen it. I haven't had a reason to see it because there are some movies, and I think Rocky Horror is one of those movies where you get to a certain point in life, and if you haven't seen it, there's really no reason to go back and see it. It's just, it's
You
just like,
feel,
I've,
you feel like that ship's passed by, so why get in your rowboat and
yeah.
try to catch up to it? Yeah.
And that's actually part of the reason why I'm kind of excited that we're doing this show, is because it gives me a reason to go back and watch some of this shit. Like,
You have a reason to. I will force you to see it.
Yes. And one thing I forgot to mention at the top of the show. So for those of you watching the stream, you may have heard this before if you're watching it before, but I'm going to say it again. This is going to be a special bonus episode. This is actually going to be dropping the same day as the Cutthroat Island episode. So you may have just listened to us talk about Cutthroat Island for an hour. Thank you for continuing to watch. But we're dropping. We're speeding up our schedule a little bit. Typically, we do every other week. We watch something, and we do like a talkie thingy over the 2 weeks. But we're speeding up the schedule due to the Halloween schedule and everything. We want to get this stuff out.
It's a holiday. It's a special. It's
a special thing. It's a bonus thing. We're giving you.
It's a bonus.
We're giving you more content. Enjoy.
Yeah. Exactly.
So
and nothing says special more than Tim Curry in lederhosens and what was the stockings and everything, whatever he was.
Yeah, I think he's in
That's
teddy
the word.
at one point.
A teddy.
Yes, a teddy.
Jesus.
Yes. Oh, and I misspoke. I said not Cutthroat Island, Solo, the post show of Solo. You probably just heard us talk a lot about that. Anyways, not Cutthroat Island. That's later. Anyway,
spoiler alert. I don't know.
Spoiler alert. Yeah, I know. I don't even know what illusion I'm shattering at this point. But yes, so we.
I love the idea of you with a jackhammer, like swinging it around as panes of glass like break all over the place.
Yeah, just like swing it once, and I'm like, oh, okay, hold on, I'll swing it one more time. Give me a second, I just need to catch my breath. Anyway, so yes, coitus. What the thing? I don't even know what I'm saying anymore.
Your transitions are as smooth as sandpaper on a Brillo pad.
For old school fans of Creativity and Progress, this is going to be very familiar, because remember how we used to try to record a couple of episodes a night?
I do.
And how we would get silly as shit on the second episode, because we would just be like,
yes.
What is time? I don't know.
Our brains would turn into like powdered milk. Yes. I do remember that very, very well.
Yes.
So for our pre-coital questionnaire for noobs in progress on this week's film, our special Halloween film, have you heard of the film?
Yes.
Yes, we both have. We both heard of Rocky Horror Picture Show. Now, what have you specifically heard about it? You mentioned it before, but I guess what is the biggest takeaway you've heard from the film?
Well, that it's a cult classic, and actually, I think, and we said this a little bit before. I can't remember if we were recording or not, but we had said that, like, I think this is like the granddaddy of cult classics. Like, it's the one that kind of created that genre of, like,
it created camp also.
Yeah, like it seems like it would, like it's not the first movie to be a cult classic in terms of time, but or I should say it's the first movie to become a cult classic, but it's not the oldest movie to become a cult classic. I think
they're ones like from the 50s. I know what you mean.
But they didn't become, those 50 ones didn't become cult classics until the Rocky Horror phenomenon happened, and then people started looking for that kind of stuff elsewhere. And I think that's kind of, it's the granddaddy of all that. It's a really long ass way to say that's granddaddy of camp.
No, that makes sense. And also, this is one where they still to this day they have, well, not COVID, but they would have the midnight showings and screenings late at, for people to come and join in to see it kind of stuff.
Yeah, and stuff would get thrown in sandwiches and
Yes, other
callbacks. And I'm not judging it. I don't want to make it seem like I'm negatively. The fans are very passionate.
we would be, if we could, if it wasn't for COVID. I'm sure you and I would actually see this in a theater.
We probably would have tried to do that.
Would. Yeah. Okay. So now, why haven't you seen it?
It just kind of passed me by. I never. A lot of my culture cues came from my older brother and older sister, and they weren't into Rocky Horror. And it's interesting that they weren't, because I think my brother would have been the perfect age to be into it, but for some reason he wasn't. I think he was doing something else, and so because of that, it just kind of completely passed me by, and none of my friends. I was more into like just nerd, like straight nerd culture, and not not that.
The operative word there being straight.
Yeah.
I got you. Right on. Okay, and so just to answer number 2 for myself, what I haven't heard about the film, I had heard obviously the Time Warp Dance and Tim Curry.
Yes. Oh,
and then,
yeah.
why haven't I seen it? I guess it's something similar, where because it came out a little ahead of our time, you and I's generation, and it just didn't. And as you and I got older, like in college and that kind of stuff, it just I'm honestly, I don't know how I missed it. It's because you and I are both more or less either in the drama club or drama club adjacent, or obviously we improv. I mean, Andy Dufresne. I know Andy Dufresne. We have his name was actually Andy Davis, but Nate and I's original improv coach and instructor. His nickname is Andy Dufresne, and Andy loves this movie.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure how I managed to miss it all these years, but I did.
I think you probably suffered from the same thing I did, in the fact that like none of our friends were into it, so we just kind of took us down. Because like I think Rocky Horror had that thing with and it's part of the cult classicness of it, is to be a part of its fandom, you had to have fairly early in your life, usually in high school when you're just starting to get into movies beyond Disney, you had to have a friend go, hey, you got to come over to my house and check out this crazy ass movie called Rocky Horror. And yeah, and I almost said Frankenfooter for some because I know that's a character.
Okay, all right,
yeah,
well, fair enough.
Or anyway, but you know, and then have that happen, like
powder
that
the brains, powder milk.
Anyway, but that had to happen. That interaction had to happen for you to be indoctrinated into it, and neither of us had that. So that's why it's been this long before we got into it.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. So now here's one I know the answer to, but anyways. So are you a fan of the genre? And for the genre, we can just say cult musicals. You know?
Yeah. Kind of. Yeah. Like you know, I like. Yeah, like it's hard. This genre, like the campy cult classic thing, is so hard.
Yeah,
because a lot of it is very specific to the actual thing. Like it's cult classics tend to be like, just because you like Rocky Horror doesn't necessarily mean you're gonna like another cult classic or another campy film.
Yeah.
Like if straight camp, that's a different thing. Like straight campy, that's a different genre. But like this seems to live in its own universe, I think. And so I guess I don't know. I guess the real answer is I don't know. I don't know.
So for the actual genre itself, I would say I am a more recent fan of it, because I had a friend of the show, Kathy Pape. Her and I were office mates and buddies for many, many years. And she's this is her genre. She loves this movie. She would quote it all the time. And she loves this genre, campy cult musicals. And so I watched other ones with her, not this one. And because she had an appreciation for it, I developed an appreciation for it myself. I listened to a podcast called Two Old Queens, where it's two gay guys that analyze camp movies for fun, essentially. So I've developed an affinity for it recently. So I would say, yes, I am a fan of the genre.
Awesome. And I need to look up that podcast. So that podcast sounds amazing.
Yeah, it's definitely, they don't just stick to campy ones. They actually do. But the idea is that they kind of trick a guest into bringing a movie onto the show, and then they scrutinize to see how gay the movie actually is. And people, the guests, have gotten wise to what's going on, and so they try to outdo the host by bringing the campiest, gayest movies on there on purpose. So it's a weird, fun little game of cat and mouse with these movies that they play.
I'm subscribing to this thing right after. I need to do this.
Yeah, it's fun. All right. So are you a fan? Now the thing is, it says, are you a fan of the franchise? This isn't really a franchise. So what I'll say then is, as opposed to franchise, are you a fan of Tim Curry and his films? Yes. Hard yes. Yeah. Okay. And you know, this is a bit of a detour, but you know that Tim Curry was almost the Joker in the Batman.
We are of the same mind. I almost brought up the same damn thing.
Yeah, I know you did. My question is, could you see him doing that?
Um, I The problem is that we've now since seen Mark Hamill do it, so it's really hard
Yes.
uh, to to go that route. I can see him doing a version of the Joker, but
Yes.
not the version that Mark Hamill did. And I don't know. Do you know the story behind that?
I think it
Of
was a
what?
scheduling conflict or something, and that's why Tim Curry couldn't show up. It wasn't he didn't get fired. It was like something else happened. He couldn't show up for it. I think he actually was hired to do it, and then there was a
That's
scheduling
what they
conflict.
said.
I mean I don't know the exact detail. I do know
Yeah.
from listening to the commentary on the
Yeah.
Batman the Animated Series that
Yeah.
because the first episode Mark Hamill shows up in is actually Mr. Freeze. That was the first
Yeah.
time he recorded one, and he was
Yeah.
that random guy that Mr. Freeze is going after. And Mark
Yeah.
Hamill, when he went to read those lines, says, "Hey, I'd love to do a villain. Do you have any? Is the Joker available?" And they said, "Oh no, we already
well-
cast somebody for that."
Well, kind of. I listened to Talking Tunes with Rob Paulson for years. He doesn't do it as much anymore. In fact, I don't think he's dropped an episode in a while. But he would interview other voiceover artists, and through the years of listening to it, I've been able to cobble together the story of essentially what happened. Essentially, what happened was Tim Curry was on another show doing Captain Hook. And he
Yes,
was doing
that Pan show. Yeah, it was good. Actually,
Yeah.
good show.
yeah, and almost, and I may be getting the timing off, but essentially when they brought him on, they hired him to do the Joker, and I think they may have even recorded some lines, like they may have even gotten like the one of the because I think it was the fish episode was the first Joker. Again, and I may be wrong on the exact plots, but the first Joker episode, I think he actually recorded some lines. And what happened, in fact, I know he did, because what happened was he was doing the Captain Hook character. He was essentially doing the
Doing
same
the
character.
Hook voice.
And
Yes.
and there was and at that point, and this is and see here and here's the thing, and this was something that some of this was coming from Mark Hamill directly, but he made it very clear. He said, I don't like talking about actors who did a role before I did them, and I don't like to get into speculation.
Fair.
So and I kind of want to give that same disclaimer. Like, I don't know, like some of this, the details may be a little different, that sort of thing, but this is the general gist. Is it may not be. I don't think it was that they went to him and said, you need to do something different. And he went, no, I want to do it this way. Like, I don't think it may have been anything like that. I think it may have been he was doing the same style of voice, and they had him trying other things. And I think they just realized it just wasn't working. It was just like, this isn't the type of Joker we want. While this was happening, Mark Hamill came in to do a role because he was a massive Batman fan. And when he found out that they were doing the animated series, he called his agent and said, get me on that show. I don't care. Yeah. I don't care if I'm henchman number 72. Just get me on that show. And so they brought him in, and it was funny because Bruce Timm talks about how he was shocked. Like, he came in and he was like so excited to be meeting Luke Skywalker. And Mark Hamill comes in with a stack of Batman comics, and he goes, okay, so are you gonna do Two-Face? Are you doing Two-Face? Oh my God, I'm so excited you're doing Two-Face. We haven't seen him on screen yet. I really like, and he just like lost his mind. And they were like, oh, he's a massive Batman. And he said, I would love to do more. If you want to have me back, I will do whatever. I would love, and I would love to do a villain. Just give me a villain. I will happily do a villain.
He wanted to be a villain. Yeah,
he wanted to be a villain. And what happened was his agent called him like a little bit later and said, yeah, they want you for the Joker. They want you to come in and audition for the Joker. And he went, oh shit, I can't do the Joker. Because he knew it was the most iconic role. So he went in, did the role, and then sorry for this massive tangent, but it just happens to be something I know
it's Joker
way
talk.
too much about.
I mean, there are two things we talk about a lot on this show. It's obviously Magic the Gathering and Batman animated series with Mark Hamill.
See, this is what happens. You bring it up and then you blame it on me. So I'm not going to say anything about that particular game that you just mentioned.
Not in front of the children. Not in front of the children.
There are no guests here. The gloves are off.
I'm a child of God. But no, I completely agree. It was also a fun tangent. And also, you told me something I didn't know. I knew more than some of the speculation. I didn't know the actual details. So yeah, that's really cool.
That was the main line that they put out, was that there was a scheduling conflict, because they, you know, like, they don't want to.
Of course, that's the best. That is PR spin.
Yeah,
of course.
But yes, I love Tim Curry. Love him.
But as we digress, question number 6 on the prequel. What are you hoping? What are you hoping to see?
I'm hoping to see Tim Curry and a teddy.
Yeah, he is.
No, I'm just hoping to have some fun. That's really what I'm hoping to see. I'm hoping that it's fun and silly, and that it just is a good time. That's what I'm hoping.
Okay, so you're hoping to see actual silliness. Okay, fun.
Yes,
fun silliness. Okay, I will put that in here because I actually record now your answers. So fun silliness.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, because
now.
Good.
Go ahead. No.
I was going to say because we don't record it audibly or anything. I know why you do it, because it's not feasible for me to go back and listen during that. So, okay, hold on. Let me listen to your answer from last week.
while we're actually recording the next episode.
Exactly.
So question number 7. I guess to be in direct opposition of the previous question, what are you afraid to see?
It's not that I'm afraid to see anything specific. I'm afraid I'm not going to like it, and the fans are going to hate me. I'm afraid. Yeah, but I am kind of not the fan thing. Like, I understand, like, you know, people like what they like, and I'm not I'm not going to Cutthroat Island it. I'm gonna, you know, because I think a big difference is with Cutthroat Island, it was a different kind of thing, where here they're being silly on purpose. This is a different genre. It's a different thing.
It's camp. Yeah, it's camp.
So for me, I'm just worried that I'm not going to like it. That's really what I'm afraid of. I'm afraid I'm not going to like it. I hope I like it. That's what I hope.
And that the thing is, as we've established, that happens sometimes. There are things where they seem to be big cultural phenomena for whatever reason that most people, especially like theater nerds or just nerds like us, are supposed to like, that we don't. You mentioned obviously before, like Han Solo isn't exactly the biggest fan of that particular character. It just things happen like that, and that's fine. That's fine. I will forgive you no matter what. The rest of our fans will not, but that's okay. That's okay. Question number 8. Well, I guess.
What are you afraid to see? What are you afraid to see?
6 and number 7 for myself.
Yeah.
So I'm right there with you as far as what I'm hoping to see. I'm hoping to see Tim Curry belt one out. Like his singing, I've heard his voice. I love his voice. I don't think he really tries to. I guess he'd probably be a bass if he's sang more or less. I think he does sing some songs. I'm hoping to see him dance in those stilettos and the teddy and sing to the highest nth degree. What I'm afraid to see. I know Susan Sarandon is also in the movie. I'm afraid to see. I would say Susan Sarandon or any actor not in on the joke, because it is kind of a campy. It feels like the movie is aware of what it's going for in the tone. And I know Susan Sarandon is a great actress. She can do comedy, sure, but because she is such a good actress, I'm worried that she might be trying to be too good for this movie or something. So I'm afraid to see anyone that's not in on the joke.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to say too much, because it sounds like because I think the type of character she is in the film, and the type of character that the type of character she is, I don't think you're going to run into that, but that's all I'll say.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. Okay.
For the little bit I've seen, we'll see.
Yeah, I can't remember too much about it. I know she's in it, but I can't remember much about it. And do you think you will like this movie?
I hope I will. I think I will.
Yeah,
I think I will. I think it's hard for a movie like this to become such a phenomenon, and also knowing the type of movie it is, of how it's just straight silliness, or not straight silliness, but it's like, it's campy,
gay silliness.
Yeah. It's kind of hard for me to think that I'm not going to like it, but we'll see.
I agree. I'm fairly certain you and I, and this is one of the movies that we actually, back in the days of when I was in Seville, this would have been a great movie for you and I to like had a couple of beers and
Yeah.
watch down in your basement. This one is
Uh,
this would definitely be a fun one for us to have gotten silly on and watched together with some go juice
yeah.
and a beer or two. Yeah, we had a
Yeah.
blast with this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, this movie now I will say I don't think I'm gonna come out as like oh God, when COVID's over, I'm going to a midnight showing. Like I don't think
right,
that's gonna happen
right.
because I'm just too old for that kind of shit. But but I do think I'm gonna like it. I'm gonna be interested to see. I'm gonna be interested to see what it's gonna be like. I have high hopes, which I hope
Yeah,
doesn't bite me in
likewise.
the ass.
No. I am going to watch this one with a friend of the show, Eric Prochnow, and his
Oh,
girlfriend,
nice.
Chloe, who's also a friend of the show. She hasn't been on yet, but she will be. But
Mhm.
they're both actors, working actors, and Chloe loves music, song and dance. She has been in many musicals out here and everything in LA. So I'm
Mhm.
watching it with them. We're gonna have a few
Nice.
beers and watch that together. So it'll be a fun time. So
Mhm.
I think that may sway my opinion, make me enjoy it more. But
Mhm.
even outside of that, I'm pretty sure I'll still be appreciative of the film. Like, okay, this even if I saw it by myself, sober,
Yeah.
I still had
Mhm.
fun with it too. So
Mhm.
yeah,
Yes. Awesome.
all right,
Awesome. All right. Well, I think that does it for our little mini-sode, which still probably went as the same length as a normal pre-show chat, but
just about,
well,
just about.
that's what we do here.
It's a holiday.
It is a holiday. It is. So everybody knows what's happening. Like I said, we're speeding up the schedule a little bit. We're going to be doing Rocky Horror next week, and then at the end of the episode next week, we are going to tell you about what we're going to do the next week, which is also going to be Halloween themed. So yes, we're going to be pumping out the Halloween stuff for the next couple weeks because we love Halloween.
We
This
do,
is
we do.
Halloween. This is Halloween. Okay.
Careful with the
Um,
clues.
I'm
Clues, my
not
friend.
that.
Clues.
Ah, my God, I'm not dropping anything. That wasn't a clue. Anyway, so yeah. So, is there anything you would like to say before I wrap this puppy up?
Yes. Tim Curry in a teddy. If you want to call me, my number is 555.
555-1212. All right. So well, thank you again, everybody, for joining us today. And join us here next week on Twitch, and then we're also going to be dropping these on YouTube as well. So check out the podcast, check out all of the stuff we're doing. We're out there, the CIP Network, Creativity in Progress, and Noobs in Progress. And as I was saying, thank you so much, everybody, for joining us, and y'all have a wonderful day.
Johnny Sins.